we understand the genetic allegory hidden in the Argonautic expedition, the experimental rejuvenation, and the lack of proof for the children's death, we must ask the deeper question: what does the name itself tell us? Because the truth about Medea is not just in what she did, but in what her name means. The linguistic connection. Here we must focus on something fundamental that we often forget. The words medicine, medicate, and remedy relate etymologically and semantically to the name Medea. In ancient Greek, the root mid or med from the verb medo means to foresee, to counsel, to rule, or to govern. Medea was not simply a witch who performed magical tricks. The roots of the word show that she was master of knowledge, the absolute healer, the genetrix. What does this mean? A doctor today corrects damage to existing matter. Medea, as the archetype of medical science, works at levels before matter. She is the genetrix, the one who constructs life from fundamental principles, not merely repairing it. When the Latins translated or adopted her title, they created the word medicus. It is not coincidental. The very concept of therapy at its root means to make again, to restore the condition to its primordial integrity. This is exactly what Medea did with the ram and attempted with Peleus. If we examine the framework of the Golden Age, Medea is the title of a being who held the key to the genetic code. She had the power to restart development, reverse aging, manage the structure of DNA. Therefore, the modern word medicine still carries within it the name of the primordial genetrix who tried to rewrite the code of life. The flying chariot and the Ascension. Now we arrive at the final piece that reveals the true nature of Medea's departure. In ancient Greek literature, we have many descriptions of gods flying with their chariot, which usually is dragged by winged horses. Medea, however, leaving Corinth for Athens, did not go terrestrially, but used a flying chariot that was drawn by 2 snakes. This is the final element that confirms the metaphysical dimension of the story. The 2 snakes that pulled her chariot are not coincidental. They symbolize the activation of the double helix, the emergence of Kundalini, or the ascent of consciousness from the physical to the astral and mental level. Medea does not simply leave. She ascends. She returns to the dimensions from where she originated, leaving behind the heavy piece of matter that failed to renew. The story of Medea is not a murder tragedy from jealousy. It is the dramatic narrative of a researcher who tried to break the law of death and fall using the knowledge of the Golden Age, and confronted the limits of human nature of the Iron Age. Medea was not a villain. She was a pioneer of life itself, a feminine Christ of this old times who come and ascent back to the higher levels, whose legacy still flows through every medical word we speak today.